Chosen ones, brace yourself, because what's coming isn't just a glow-up, it's a resurrection, a divine return that rewrites every narrative that once defined you. Picture this: the same rooms that once exiled you now fall silent in your presence. The atmosphere shifts, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. You carry a new frequency. You're not just seen, you are. There was once a woman, quiet and overlooked, burdened by rejection and silenced by ridicule. But she wasn't broken. She was being rooted like a seed buried in the dark. She needed isolation to grow. That silence, it wasn't the end, it was the incubation. And when she returned, she didn't need to announce her transformation. Her presence spoke volumes. That woman is you, chosen one, not a victim of your past, but a vessel of divine power. And this isn't about revenge, it's about revelation. The version of you that once bowed to fear and limitation has been buried. What rises now is forged in fire, truth, and purpose. Even science affirms this. Caterpillars completely dissolve in the chrysalis before becoming butterflies. A total breakdown precedes the breakthrough. Spiritually, it's the same. God often hides his greatest works in silence. Moses spent 40 years in obscurity before confronting Pharaoh. David was anointed king long before he sat on the throne. And Jesus himself, 30 years of quiet preparation before 3 years that shook the earth. Your process is biblical. That's why people are staring. That's why you feel the shift. Your energy isn't just magnetic, it's prophetic. Doors are opening because heaven is signaling your time. You've passed the test, endured the crushing, and now the oil is flowing. So don't downplay your rise. Don't shrink to fit in. The prophecy is unfolding, and you are living proof that God never forgets his promises. As Gandhi said, then you win. And chosen one, your win is not just personal, it's generational. It's going to shake the ground and awaken others. This return, it won't just be seen, it'll be remembered. So let's go deeper, because what you're feeling is the beginning of something world-shifting. Point one, you disappeared to develop, not to disintegrate. Let's clear one thing up once and for all. Isolation wasn't punishment, it was preparation. See, to the outside world, it looked like you vanished. People thought you were losing it, falling behind, or simply not keeping up. But little did they know you were in the divine workshop of transformation. While others were chasing applause and clout, you were being set apart for something greater. And not just set apart, refined, redefined, and realigned. That season of silence wasn't accidental, it was sacred. Spiritually, you were being recalibrated. Your GPS was getting updated, God's positioning system, if you will. Heaven took you off the radar so your mission file could be reviewed, revised, and reauthorized. What looked like rejection was actually redirection. That job you didn't get, that relationship that ghosted you, that crowd that stopped inviting you, none of it was meant to break you. It was meant to shield you while you grew. You see, growth often happens in the dark, just like seeds buried in soil. Nobody applauds a seed when it's under the dirt. It's hidden, silent, and still. But beneath the surface, everything is changing. The roots are forming, strength is building. And when that sprout finally breaks through, it's not weak, it's ready. That's what happened to you. You weren't being buried, you were being planted. During that time, you probably felt forgotten, abandoned, even misunderstood. And let's be real, confusion can feel like a prison when you don't understand the purpose behind it. But the truth is, you were never lost. You were being located by heaven. God knew exactly where you were, and more importantly, where he was taking you. Let's talk science for a second. Did you know that the most valuable diamonds are formed under the most intense pressure, buried deep within the earth for millions of years? They're not found lying around. They're hidden, rare, and revealed only after time, pressure, and excavation. That was your isolation. High pressure, zero visibility, but building something priceless inside you. And now, you're back. Not broken, not desperate for validation, but wiser, sharper, healed, spiritually aligned in ways most people can't even understand. Your energy has shifted, your discernment has heightened, and your peace, untouchable. And here's the kicker, you don't even need to say much. Your presence speaks volumes. Your silence, it echoes. People are noticing, oh yes, they are. The ones who dismissed you before are side-eyeing your glow now. They can't put their finger on it, but something's different. You've got a quiet confidence, a divine rhythm. It's not ego, it's evidence. Evidence of your process, evidence of your preparation. And here's the beautiful twist. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. Your elevation is your exclamation. Your growth is your clap back. Because when God promotes you, no one can demote you. They'll wonder how you survived, how you bounced back, how you became that version of yourself. And the answer will always be simple. Grace covered your process and purpose fueled your comeback. So if you're still in that quiet season, don't panic. You're not being punished. You're in training. You're on heaven's radar. And if you've already emerged, welcome to your glow-up era. The version of you that's walking forward now, that's the one who was always meant to lead, speak, create, and shake atmospheres. And to the world watching, you don't need to explain, they feel it. Point 2, your energy is different, because you are different. Chosen one, your energy is speaking louder than words, and it's shaking rooms. You may not see it in the mirror, but people can feel it when you walk in. Your energy precedes you like a wave of divine thunder wrapped in calm. There's something different about you now, and it's not just how you talk or dress, it's the way the air shifts when you arrive. People sense it in their spirit before their mind catches up, that uneasiness they feel. It's not because you've done anything wrong. It's because they're standing in the presence of someone who has evolved beyond what they understand. Chosen one, your energy is no longer familiar because you're no longer trying to be familiar. You've outgrown the role they assigned you. You've shed the mask they were comfortable with, that quiet glow you carry. It's not the result of a flawless skincare routine. It's the radiance of sacred awareness. You're tapped in. You're no longer running on the approval of others. You're running on divine fuel, clarity, peace, purpose. That combination makes people who haven't yet faced their own truth feel very uncomfortable. But hear this loud and clear. Their discomfort is not your burden. You're walking with a kind of confidence that can't be bought or borrowed. It's divine confidence, built from surviving storms, enduring spiritual warfare, and rising every time life tried to knock you down. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to yell. You don't need to explain yourself, defend your calling, or justify your choices. Your life is your message. You don't chase, you attract, you don't force, you flow. The chaos of others can no longer invade your peace because your spirit has become fortified. And that peace, it's supernatural. It's not naive, it's not blind, it's holy. Your discernment is razor sharp now. You can read the room without saying a word. You spot intentions in seconds, and you've mastered the art of not participating in anything that drains your soul. You've detached from the noise, the gossip, the people-pleasing. You've made your boundaries sacred ground. Only the worthy may enter. Even your silence carries weight now. You've probably noticed it, how people fidget under your gaze, how they try to fill the silence with shallow chatter, how they stumble over themselves trying to figure out what changed. It's you changed. You're no longer the version of yourself they could control, ignore, or diminish. And some can't handle that. Good. You weren't meant to make them comfortable. You were sent to flip tables, just like Jesus in the temple, to awaken sleepy spirits, disrupt illusions, and carry truth like a torch in a world full of shadows. Science even backs up this shift in energy. The human heart emits an electromagnetic field up to 3 feet from the body, and when you're spiritually aligned, that field becomes stronger, more coherent. People literally feel the shift in your vibration. They don't need to know the details. They sense it, they see the glow, they hear the authority in your voice, and they feel the peace you carry even in chaos. You don't need a spotlight. You are the light. Chosen one, this new version of you isn't here to blend in, you're here to lead. You're not just rising, you're rising higher. And those who can't handle your growth were never meant to hold your hand at the top. Let them whisper, let them wonder. Your elevation speaks louder than their opinions ever could. Keep walking in your power, even if it makes others uncomfortable. That discomfort is an invitation for them to grow. You're not here to dim down. You're here to rise, radiate, and reveal what's real. So go ahead, walk in rooms like you own the atmosphere, because spiritually speaking, you do. Point 3, your comeback isn't personal. It's prophetic. This comeback isn't about proving your haters wrong. It's about proving God right. Let's set the record straight. This isn't your average comeback story. This isn't the look at me now flex on those who doubted you. This is deeper. This is divine. You're not coming back to clap back. You're coming back to confirm what heaven already declared about you. This isn't about revenge. It's about revelation. You're not trying to prove your haters wrong. You're living proof that God was right all along. Before anyone saw your potential, God saw your purpose. Before the pain, there was already a promise. While people dismissed you, disrespected you, and discarded your presence, God was drafting the blueprint for your breakthrough. He didn't panic when you were overlooked, He didn't pause when they tried to sabotage your spirit. While they were counting you out, God was counting down to this moment. See, that's the thing. The most epic comebacks aren't built on force. They're built on faith. You didn't manipulate your way into these opportunities. You didn't beg for validation or twist yourself into someone else's version of worthy. You aligned with the truth. You healed. You evolved. You surrendered to the divine timing. And that's why it's so jaw-dropping to others, and not because you're loud, but because your glow is undeniable. Let's talk facts for a second. Psychological studies have proven that resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about bouncing forward with clarity. People who emerge from trauma with growth are often those who embraced healing, not hustle. That's you. You didn't just patch yourself up. You allowed yourself to transform. You shed the layers of people-pleasing. You released the need for approval. You rebuilt from the inside out, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and now the doors are swinging open, not because you knocked them down, but because they were always meant for you. You're walking into divine appointments, not coincidences. That connection who randomly reached out, that opportunity that seemed to fall from the sky, that whisper of your name in a room you've never stepped into, that's prophecy in motion. This is the spiritual law of alignment. When your soul aligns with your calling, everything that's meant for you finds you. So don't be surprised when people who once ignored you now act shocked by your transformation. It's not that you changed overnight. It's that the version of you they buried can't be compared to the version that resurrected. You healed privately, but now the results are loud. They didn't see the tears. They didn't witness the prayers, but they will witness the promise. And don't get it twisted. Your enemies are learning too. God will even use their mockery as a mirror to show them their own limits. While they were trying to bring you down, heaven was using them as character developers in your story. Sometimes your haters are just unpaid actors in your testimony. God doesn't waste anything. Even the hurt had a holy assignment, so keep rising, keep walking in grace. Let the applause or silence from others mean nothing compared to the yes from above. This isn't your moment of revenge, this is your moment of revelation. You didn't just make a comeback. You stepped into prophecy, not because of your grind, but because of your God. And the most beautiful part, you haven't even peaked yet. You're only just beginning. Point 4, people will be shocked because they remember who you were, not who you are. Here's the twist, chosen one. And it's a delicious one. People still expect the old version of you, the one who smiled to keep the peace while swallowing storms, the one who tolerated nonsense, accepted crumbs, and dimmed your own brilliance so others wouldn't feel small, the one who stayed quiet in rooms you were meant to command. You see, they remember that you, not because it's who you still are, but because that version of you made them comfortable. That version of you fit inside their limited idea of who you were supposed to be. You were easier to control, easier to dismiss, and easier to overlook. But something divine happened. Life cracked you open, and in that cracking, your truth broke free. Trials didn't break you, they revealed you. You walked through fire and came out golden, and now you're walking differently. You're speaking with power, you're moving with purpose. You've upgraded spiritually, mentally, emotionally, even physically. And here's where it gets awkward for them, because now you show up with divine authority. You're unapologetically brilliant. Your no is non-negotiable. Your yes is sacred. And your energy? It's no longer cheap, confused, or available for just anyone. You've set boundaries that burn away leeches. You've tuned your frequency so high that low vibes can't find a home near you, so of course they're stunned. They're stumbling over their words, trying to reconcile the image of who you used to be with who you've become. Their memory can't compute the upgrade. And let's be honest, many of them built their self-esteem, their confidence, and their power on the idea that you'd stay the same. But now the illusion has shattered, the mask is off, and you, the real you, have stepped forward. That's why they're shook. That's why they whisper in circles, peek at your pages, ask around about you like you're a mystery they never solved. Because in truth, they never knew you. They only knew who you allowed them to see. But here's the beauty in all of this. You don't owe them an explanation. Let them stutter, let them question, let them sit in the awkward silence of your absence. Let them wrestle with their regret and confusion. Because your only job now is not to go back and explain your glow up, not to dim your light for old shadows. Your only job now is to be. Be fully you, be freely you, be fiercely you. Science shows that identity is not fixed. The brain is capable of massive neuroplastic change. That means you're wired to evolve, to upgrade, to shed skins. Even your DNA responds to your beliefs and environment. So yes, your growth isn't just spiritual, it's biological. You are literally not the same person anymore. Spiritually, this is elevation. Biblically, it's transformation. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Romans 12:2. God didn't wake you up just to keep you walking in circles. He prepared you for leadership, purpose, and impact. And those who misunderstood you, they were just background noise in your testimony. So walk tall, chosen one. Let your new frequency speak louder than their memory. You didn't come this far to blend in. You came to stand out, to break generational curses, and to reflect the glory of the one who created you. Let them whisper, but you roar. Point 5, the battle was real, but the breakthrough is holy. Let's not sugarcoat it. You went through hell. We're not talking about a few bad days or some ordinary setbacks. No, what you endured was a full-on spiritual battlefield. Nights when your pillow was soaked with tears no one knew about. Days when you smiled in public but felt like screaming in private. Seasons where you cried out to God, but the silence felt deafening, like your prayers were bouncing off the ceiling. You were fighting unseen battles in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit. And what made it harder? Some of the wounds came from the very people you trusted most. Family, friends, even those who once claimed to love you. You experienced betrayal so sharp it made your chest ache. People plotted behind your back while pretending to cheer for you. Opportunities were stolen, reputations tarnished, and doors slammed shut that you knew were meant for you. Isolation became your companion, and at times it felt like the world had turned its back on you. But here's the thing. They didn't know who they were messing with, because despite all of that, you held on. You didn't fold. You didn't curse God or give up on your calling. Instead, you got quiet. You went inward. You started praying with intention, fasting with fire, and leaning on a strength that didn't even feel like yours. That was the Holy Spirit carrying you. That was divine grace putting breath in your lungs when you had nothing left. You stopped chasing people and started chasing purpose. And though it took time, though the wilderness felt endless, you started to rise. Now you're standing on the other side of that fire, not just surviving, but shining. What's happening now? God is rewarding you publicly for everything you endured privately. That's not karma, that's kingdom. There's a difference. Karma is about revenge and retribution. Kingdom is about vindication. It's about God preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies, not to gloat, but to show that when He lifts someone, no man can pull them down. Now you're walking in authority, not the loud, flashy kind. Yours is quiet, refined, undeniable. You have clarity like never before. You've tapped into discernment. You can feel energy shift in a room. You sense lies before they're spoken. That's what happens when you go through the fire. You come out with eyes that see. Your joy is no longer surface level, it's rooted. It comes from knowing who you are and who held you together when everything else fell apart. You've built resilience not from self-help books or motivational quotes, but from real-life battles. Your armor is not plastic, it's been battle-tested. And here's the beautiful part that people miss. Your glow isn't just success, it's survival, it's victory. And yes, it scares demons. It scares the very forces that tried to bury you, because they know they failed. They know that everything they threw at you only made you stronger. Your strength is now a threat. Your presence is prophetic. Your walk is a testimony. So don't hide your light. Don't downplay your crown. You earned that glow. God saw the nights you wanted to give up, and now He's showing you off. He's reminding everyone, this is what happens when you stay faithful in the fire. You went through hell, but heaven had your back the entire time, and now you're living proof that what the enemy meant for evil, God turned for glory. Welcome to your divine comeback. Point 6, you're here to shift atmospheres, not just fit in. Chosen ones, you didn't stumble into this life by chance. Your presence is not some random accident in the universe's grand design. It's intentional, powerful, and deeply spiritual. When you walk into a room, something happens that can't be explained by logic alone. The atmosphere thickens with awareness. People become more alert. Some feel inspired, others intimidated, and many can't even articulate why they're suddenly uneasy. That's the divine frequency you carry. Your energy shifts the room, not because you're loud or demanding, but because your spirit is undeniable. You're not just someone who enters spaces, you're someone who alters them. Your silence speaks volumes. You don't need to outtalk anyone because your very essence communicates truth. Studies in psychology have shown that people subconsciously pick up on vibes or energy, subtle emotional cues and frequencies that are transmitted without a word. This isn't just spiritual fluff. It's real and it's measurable. Your stillness carries clarity. Your eyes hold stories. Your soul echoes purpose. Why do people suddenly act differently around you? Because your spirit awakens the dormant conscience in others. You represent truth in a world addicted to illusions. You trigger awareness in those who have spent years trying to stay asleep. You disrupt, not for chaos, but for alignment. You weren't made to keep the status quo. You were born to question it, to elevate it, to redirect it back to truth. That's why some people instantly admire you and others immediately resent you. They sense something ancient and powerful in you, something that can't be controlled, manipulated, or ignored. You are a lighthouse, not a disco ball. You don't shine to be seen. You shine so others can find their way. And let's be honest, not everyone wants to be guided. Some would rather drift in the comfort of darkness than confront the truth your light exposes. But hear this clearly. Never dim your light to comfort the blind. If they can't handle your illumination, let them stay in the dark. Your role was never to make everyone comfortable. It was to call souls higher. Don't shrink, don't minimize, and don't apologize for being chosen. The world has enough noise. What it needs is resonance. And you, dear one, resonate with heaven. Your presence realigns chaos into order, confusion into clarity, apathy into action. You are here not just to exist, but to awaken, to heal, to ignite. You were not called to blend in. You were divinely designed to stand out. Let the world adjust to your frequency, never the other way around. Point 7, the world will be shocked because this is your era of visibility. There's something sacred, almost divine, about being hidden. At first, it doesn't feel that way. It feels like rejection, like isolation, like whispering prayers into what seems like a bottomless void while the world marches forward without you. Friends get promoted, strangers go viral, doors open for others while you're left knocking in silence. But here's the truth that changes everything. Being hidden wasn't God's punishment, it was His preparation. Obscurity is often the cocoon before the transformation. It's the spiritual greenhouse where your roots grow deep before your branches reach wide. Hiddenness is not invisibility, it's intentional invisibility, a sacred strategy from heaven to strengthen what no one else sees. Because when the spotlight finally finds you, you won't be performing, you'll be walking in purpose. Let's break this down. Psychologists and researchers call this quiet period the incubation phase. It's a term used to describe the time when new ideas, habits, and inner transformations are forming beneath the surface. Even in cognitive science, breakthroughs often come a season of quiet reflection and mental digestion, not during moments of noise and activity. Think of that. Even your brain is wired to grow silently before it shows results. The same is true spiritually. God allows seasons of solitude to refine your character, test your motives, and develop your discernment. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, enslaved and then imprisoned for years. To the outside world, he was forgotten. But to God, he was being positioned. His dreams weren't dead, they were marinating. And in due time, God took him from the prison to the palace in a single day. The same pattern can be found in the life of David. Anointed as king while still a shepherd boy, David went back to tending sheep after being chosen. He didn't rush to the throne, he waited. He endured the wilderness, the betrayals, and the battles, but every hidden day was shaping his strength. Even Jesus, the Son of God, spent 30 years in obscurity, working as a carpenter, living humbly, unnoticed by the religious elites, before launching a public ministry that lasted just 3 years but changed the course of human history. What does that tell you? Hidden seasons are holy. They are not setbacks, they are sacred setups. They are less about punishment and more about preparation. In a culture obsessed with instant results and overnight success, it's easy to mistake hiddenness for failure, but true growth doesn't shout, it whispers. A seed must be buried before it blossoms. A diamond is formed under pressure, deep underground, and just like those hidden treasures, your silent years weren't wasted, they were working. Every tear watered your roots, every unanswered prayer planted deeper faith. Every closed door redirected you to God's better plan. What looked like delay was actually divine design. You weren't forgotten. You were being formed. Now the season is shifting, and here comes the unveiling. But it's not for claps or followers or vengeance, it's for impact. God doesn't reveal his chosen ones for show. He reveals them for service. Your pain has become your platform. Your scars now carry stories. The same people who ignored you may now seek your wisdom, but your purpose is not to say, look at me. Your purpose is to say, look at God. This is not the season to be petty. This is the season to be purposeful. Let your glow up be a gospel. Let your rise inspire even your enemies to grow. This is what the Bible calls a time for every purpose under heaven, Ecclesiastes 3:1. And your time, it's now. Heaven's schedule cannot be delayed by man's opinion. What God has ordained, no critic can cancel. When God says now, every obstacle becomes irrelevant. Every lie collapses under truth. Every delay gets swallowed up by destiny. You are stepping into alignment, not because you forced it, but because you it. You didn't reinvent yourself. You grew into your true self, the one God saw all along, even when no one else did. Chosen one, this is not just a comeback. This is heaven's rollout. You are not here to blend in. You're here to stand out. You are the shock factor. Your resilience is rare. Your peace is unshakable. Your presence is a declaration that God is still in the business of raising the overlooked, the underestimated, and the underestimated. You don't owe explanations. You don't owe revenge. You owe the world only one thing, your obedience to purpose. So walk in it, boldly, humbly, authentically, because those who tried to bury you didn't know they were planting a seed. And now that seed has grown. The bloom is undeniable, the fruit is visible, and your season of unveiling is unstoppable. Keep shining, keep serving, keep trusting. The world may be surprised, but heaven isn't. This was always the plan. You are a prophecy in motion.